9 steps you need to follow when dividing up personal items after death. And we're getting started right after this. Hello everyone, I'm Kes Stadler, Associate Broker with Atlanta Communities, and I'm a certified probate real estate specialist. And today we're going to be talking about 9 steps that you need to follow and things you need to do when you're handling and dividing up the personal property from an estate. So we're going to go ahead and get started right away. And if you haven't before, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And be sure to leave a comment too if there's something that you think I missed or one of the 9 steps that you think we need to add or change. I'd love to know what you think. So we're going to get started on the steps right now, and here we go. Step number 1, understanding probate law. If the decedent had a will, it should be spelled out in there, so it should make the executor their job rather, I shouldn't say rather easy, but a little bit easier. If there was a will and probate, then that'll stipulate the personal items. If the decedent did not have a will, then you or someone else will need to be qualified to be the executor or to be the person to allocate and help divide the assets. This is where it can get kind of tricky. Step number 2, personal property versus real property. It's pretty straightforward, but in many states, if the personal property is under $100,000, you don't have to go through much of probate. It's fairly straightforward on how to divide it up. If it is over $100,000, then you definitely need to get an attorney involved. So keep that in mind. Okay, as we know, personal property is self-explanatory. Jewelry, furniture, clothing, picture frames, pictures, things like that. Now, real property, that could involve the decedent's personal home. It could involve rental property. It could involve condominiums. So anything that's real property has to be taken through probate and has to be held to a different standard. So make sure you differentiate the two. Step number 3, take inventory. This is critical, and you need to do that before you start dividing up any personal property. You don't want any hurt feelings, and you want to make sure everything is documented correctly. I'm going to give you an example. You can see an example here of how simple it can be when you're taking the inventory. It doesn't have to be super involved, doesn't have to be exact numbers, but just has to be a roundabout idea of the personal property value and what's involved. Don't go and dictate every single pen, piece of paper, things like that, but anything that could cause a fight between the beneficiaries, go ahead and document it and get it in the inventory. As you're going through the inventory, make a special note of anything that seems extremely valuable. Last thing you want is for one person to get a $100 watch and another person in the family get a $100,000 watch. So if it's extremely valuable, make sure it's noted on the inventory list. Okay, step number 4, get appraisals. Sounds pretty straightforward. This is dealing with personal property. I have another video we'll talk about where we get into appraisals for real property. But for personal property, if it's a family heirloom or maybe a Gucci bag or a Van Gogh painting or something that has a lot of value or could have a lot of value, a nice Steinway piano, like I said before, get appraisals on it. If you're in the Metro Atlanta area, I have appraisers that can help you with all the different aspects of that. If you're in a different part of the country, you can find a local advisor that can help you. Let me know. Send me a comment depending upon where you are, and I'll be happy to give you some names and numbers. But go ahead and get appraisals done. It can't hurt. It can be paid for by the estate, and it can save a lot of headaches when the beneficiary's down the road. Okay, step number 5 kind of correlates back to number 3, but you really need to, and this also has to go back to the appraisal, determine if there is $100,000 or more in personal assets or $100,000 or less. So that's going to take a little digging on your part. You may have to take some pictures, some model numbers, but find out the value of the personal property. That'll help you decide which way to go with the probate court and with your attorney. My mom passed away several years ago, and step number 6 relates directly to this. I love photographs. My mom was big into photographs. So what I did is I set up a Google Drive, an online drive for my brother and sister, and took all the pictures, took all the home videos, found a place here in Atlanta that put them all on an external hard drive, and then I saved them all to an external hard drive. Also backed them up on a Google Drive, bought 2 terabytes of space. So that's something you can do, but keep all the keepsakes on the Google Drive. Another hint, what I did, my mom was into arts and crafts and knickknacks, and she made a lot of things that had sentimental value, but I really didn't have anywhere to store them. My brother and my sister didn't really either. So what we did is we took pictures of those items and then we donated them to charity. That way another family could enjoy them. I also donated them to the veterans, or you can find a homeless shelter for certain items, but we took a picture so we could keep the sentimental value, and then we donated the item. So that's something that a lot of my clients have said made perfect sense. Everybody wanted a copy of a certain painting or something like that, but nobody had room for it. So you can always do that, and just use your smartphone to take the pictures. It doesn't have to be a professional camera. Okay, for number 7, you want to gather everyone together that has an interest in the personal property, whether it's at the decedent's home, or if everything's been moved to a storage unit, or even if you need to have it online for some people because they can't be there in person. You can do a Zoom call, everybody knows Zoom now, or a live chat. So you can walk around the house. You want to make sure everyone that's possibly involved feels like they're welcome and they're part of this decision-making process with the personal property. So have it at the home, have it at the condo, have it at the storage unit, or do it online so everyone has that opportunity. That's critical to keep the peace. And you and me as the advisor wants to keep everyone happy and make sure everyone feels like they were given their fair share. It may not be even Steven, but at least everyone feels like they were treated fairly. Okay, when you get started on divvying up the personal property, step 8 has to do with either drawing names out of a hat so everyone gets a chance, or having everyone pick a number, pick a straw, however you want to do it. That's up to you. If you hire someone like myself, we can help you through that process, but you want to give everybody a chance and then start over again. And as you're going through the house, one of the tricks I've learned and share with my clients is give each family member a different roll of colored tape, red, green, blue, whatever, or give them different colored zip ties. However you want to do it, make sure if it's tape, it's that painter's tape or something like that, or labels. Whatever plan you come up with, whatever system, that way as they go through the house, everyone can right then and there label what they'd like to keep, and there's no misunderstanding, no questions later. As you can tell, a common theme with part of this video is keeping everyone involved, keeping everyone as a part, making everyone feel like they were included in the whole process. Okay, number 9, as I've said before, is the most important, which is communicating with the attorneys, with the court, not so much on personal property, but that's always good, and that's another video. But on the beneficiaries, communicate with them on when you're doing these things, what you're doing, what's going to happen to the personal property. You don't want any hurt feelings. Like I said in number 8, you can have them draw numbers out of a hat, whatever you want to do. But if everyone feels like they're treated fairly, you won't have it near the problems. So make sure that you communicate what you're going to do. If you're the executor, it's especially important, or make sure the executor is communicating with you. If you have a large family, if you're the only inheritance and it's just you, then that's fairly simple. But if you've got a large family, or if you've got 2 siblings that aren't getting along, you need to communicate with both of them so that the issues can be resolved, hopefully peacefully, before attorneys have to get involved fighting over personal property. So just keep the communication channels open. That is critical. Okay, and one last thing, a bonus for number 9. If somebody puts their name on something that somebody else wants, then let them negotiate a fair trade. In many cases, they can say, well, I want mom's pillow, I want mom's sheets. Okay, well, why don't we swap? Many times that works. I'm a scout leader, so if there's camping gear, I would maybe go to someone else and say, I'll trade you some of those shoes for camping gear, whatever it might be. It can be a win-win, but make sure both parties feel like it was a fair trade. But trade is something you can do. Okay, so hopefully the 9 steps just gave you some ideas. I'm just hitting the high level on all these items. That's my 25 years of experience in residential real estate and helping people through the probate process. If you'd like more information, put a comment below. Thanks again for tuning in. We've got more videos coming out, one every week or so, and don't forget to check out my other channel, Living in Metro Atlanta. If you're thinking about moving here, I've got some really good information. I was born and raised in Atlanta, have a small team, and I can help you or your loved ones through the probate process. And for now, I'm signing out. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video.